Kingdom Come does address that a little bit. Like, Joker moves to Metropolis and kills Lois Lane like right away. So fast it happens.
Well, exactly. That's like, the other thing too.
Why would you piss off Superman? Like,
because it's funny. It was funny.
You're just like, why has nobody ever done this before? You're dating her. Nah. Just like it's over. Yeah. So I guess there's that.
Speaking of the DC universe, you don't want to talk about.
I was going to say
MCU.
Yeah. If we want to stick in MCU, speaking of comics and whatever, there was the trailer for Civil War, Captain America: Civil War, that everybody was kind of freaking out about. The internet got butthurt about it because they were like, "This isn't hero registration." But I was like, "How would you possibly tell that story in the current?"
Well, if you did like 3 different films, every one of them started up a little bit of it, and then you.
But again, no. But it's just that how they've established
introducing the New Warriors reality television show.
That would have been amazing.
Connecticut catastrophe would have been really long.
It would have been so cool, though. Think about that. If there was a reality, if there was a New Warriors reality TV show that they shot and filmed as a reality TV show about the New Warriors, like solving like mysteries and stuff, that'd be so fucking good. That would have been. I take it back. I'm on board with the internet. You can get butthurt about hero registration. That's the fucking best idea in the world. Like a whole.
You just want more Speedball.
Yeah. But I don't want him to become Penance. That was weird.
Really weird.
Nobody liked Penance. Yeah. So the whole thing that triggered off hero registration in the first place was the New Warriors, which were like a group of teenage superheroes, went to.
They fucked something up really bad.
Well,
right?
They started a reality.
They had
show.
a reality show where they would like stop villains and like get followed around by cameras and all that stuff. But they're not Avengers, they're not X-Men, they're not whatever. They're just like little teenagers with powers. So they're not trained, quote unquote, the way that Avengers would be. Yeah, exactly. They're not the best of the best. And they went and engaged Nova.
No.
Supernova.
No.
What's his name? Yeah, the guy who blows up.
Yeah, his name is like Nucleon or
whatever. They engaged
a bad guy who blows up.
Okay. A bad guy who was like, yeah, you're right. Nova's the guy in the mask.
What was the guy?
He might just be called Supernova.
Cool story, bros.
Anyway, whatever the case is, he's like a little out of their league in terms of like villain,
right?
Like in terms of how much damage this guy could do. He could blow shit up.
Okay.
So he's like he's not even out of school. They're
like bust him in suburban Connecticut.
Yeah, they just engage him near a school, and he's like, "Later, taters," and explodes fucking. Like a giant chunk of suburban Connecticut, including a school, on camera on the reality
Wait, does
show.
he get better?
I mean, it comes outside of him.
Okay.
Yeah. He can be in the center of it, no problem.
Okay, so he blows up a school and a bunch of Connecticut.
And a bunch of children, and it's all on camera, and they're like...
And a bunch of New Warriors die.
A bunch of New Warriors die and everything, and they were sort of like, why did we let this happen? Why don't these kids have like licenses and training and all that stuff? Like, what the shit? Like, how did this go down? And like, and the worst is like, there's even like some stuff like the backstage production stuff where they're like, we're a little out of our league with this guy, and like the producers are like, yeah, but you could like probably take him. And they're like, yeah, we could probably take him. And like there's like even like that was the decision was we could probably take him, and as a result, tons of innocents died. And then they were like, Tony Stark was like, holy shit, fucking people are superheroes without any accountability or registration and all that stuff. We're gonna make a super secure database of all of your information so that there's an accountability to superheroes, and we know who has what powers, and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And it seems all very reasonable, except that it's Tony Stark, so he goes, like, way over the top, and that includes that if you disagree with him, he'll just put you in a chamber in the negative zone, experiencing eternity in every moment. Right. Because he's like, that's the safest prison for superheroes.
And also, it's Tony Stark, who's like, hey, everybody, Iron Man is Tony Stark, and my life doesn't change at all.
Right.
Because I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He convinced, like...
And then he convinces Spider-Man to do the same thing. He's like, hey, Spider-Man, why don't you do this too? Like, look how great it's working for me.
I'm going to give you a cool new Spider-Man costume. It's going to have robot bits in it. And Spider-Man's like, yeah.
Hey, I'm Spider-Man, everybody. It's Peter Parker. It's me. And then Aunt May gets shot.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that was a bad idea.
This didn't work out.
Why wasn't there a security detail?
Why don't I live in $1 billion
super secure mansion? Right.
There's a lot of people who don't like me. I did not think
exactly. Captain America's position is all like, they put on masks to protect their loved ones.
Right.
Nobody makes them be heroes. They're like, they're doing it for the good of America.
Freedoms.
Freedom! Exactly.
Right. So they all fight each other.
Okay.
Heroes fighting heroes, and the villains are just like, what now? Because like the villains aren't even in that boat. Even like inactive villains with powers are already theoretically registered, because when they got busted, they got like criminal dossiers on them, and they're like, so if you're just like a villain who's like done his time with your powers, you didn't have to register. You're already in the system. You're like, whatever. This has nothing to do with me. Like everybody knows who I am. I was like when I got arrested by Captain America, they took my fingerprints at Shield. Okay. That was
so in the movies, it's a little bit different.
Right.
Well, because there aren't a bunch of unregistered superheroes in the MCU. Every single solitary superhero, with the exception of like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, is like closely tied.
Luke Cage. Big and Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Anyway.
But even then, Luke Cage has got his powers in prison, so they probably know who he is.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. The government probably kind of knows what he's up to. So yeah, there's no unregistered superheroes for this to be a dilemma for.
Right.
So they're obviously going to need to change the motivation for why heroes are fighting.
Right.
So they kind of seem to have gone on the flip side, not the flip side, but just like another way about it, being like just more of an accountability and like operating measures for the Avengers, which I'm like, I can totally see in like if you're kind of working the MCU as a little more realistic version of the comic books, which is like sort of what they go for, because like in the comic books they're like superheroes have been around since the 40s, and like humanity has had heroes for like the past 70 years in comic book world, right? Like versus in the MCU, humanity's had superheroes for like 5.
Okay. I just find the premise a little bit weird, and I'll tell you why. I can understand the problem.
So
the government then comes after Winter Soldier, right?
Well, specifically, yeah, exactly. But I'm saying, I think that there's the indication when General Thunderbolt shows up, and he's like, it's just some operating procedures for heroes and stuff. Where I was like, can you imagine if what happened in Avengers 1 happened in reality, and then someone's like, hey Obama, what's the chain of command when aliens get invade? What's that? And he'd be like, there's like a shadow branch of the government that just does whatever they want, and I guess like they have a big strong green guy who can punch aliens. I guess that's the chain of command. Like, you know, like there'd be like accountability, and they're like, when the big fucking the city in Nowhere's Land gets like lifted up into the space, you'd be like, what treaties did you sign to get the Avengers operating in that country with complete impunity, just fucking running around and doing all that stuff? It's like, no, like it all worked out, but what if it doesn't? You know, and you're sort of like, you guys just like flew through airspace, did whatever the shit you wanted to fight the evil robot, but there was like no chain of command, no accountability.
So in the trailer, the premise is that the government wants to arrest Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, for the crimes that he did.
Okay.
Right.
And Cap is like, no.
He's my bud!
Like, he had been conditioned by evil people, and now he's okay.
Okay.
And like, we want to help him, make sure that he's okay, but we don't need to turn him over to you crazy.
Wouldn't that be the law?
Well, there is the indication in the trailer that they're coming to get you, and they're here to take you prisoner.
Right.
Like, so General Ross seems to have put like a kill order out on Bucky, which is a little bit different from going to trial and where you can safely prove that you're mind control.
Right.
You know?
But at the same time, having seen the movies, I know that there is no Ultron without Tony Stark.
Okay.
And Tony coming out and being like, no, I'm fine. I don't need help. Yes, I built a robot that almost destroyed a city. But, like, Bucky is a problem, and we need to put him behind bars and sort his shit out.
Okay, but you can't see Tony Stark saying that?
Well, yeah, I can totally see Tony Stark saying that. I can't see Thunderbolt Ross going like, yeah, that makes sense, Tony. I like that. It's a good idea. Like,
who's Thunderbolt Ross?
He's an army general. He's the guy who fights the Hulk all the time.
He's the guy who also himself
accidentally built the Abomination.
Accidentally built Abomination in the first Hulk movie.
Second.
In the first Hulk movie that happens in the MCU. Yeah, exactly. In the Ed Norton Hulk movie, he was like, we'll take the Hulk thing and we'll make Abomination. And he's like, whoops, that went south. I wonder how accountable he feels like.
Didn't they also kind of introduce some brain guy? There's like a scientist dude who gets like Hulk crap
leader that was
spilled
like a
all over
thing
him
right at the end.
Yeah, and he never comes back. It never gets developed.
Because Ed Norton.
Okay.
Well, not just because of Ed Norton, because apparently there's a bunch.
Because Hulk movies don't make money.
Well, A, Hulk movies don't make money. B, there's been like 3 of them in the past 10 years. And C, apparently the rights are a little like wonky, kind of like the Spider-Man rights. Mm-hmm. Like, so they wouldn't be able to like take it fully into the MCU. So like without paying other people money, and it's like they'll pay other people money for Spider-Man. They won't pay other people money for Hulk. Like, because like they can have Hulk in Avengers movies, but to make a Hulk exclusive movie, someone else owns some of the rights.
Sony?
Something like that. Yeah,
okay.
might be.
We're getting away from the drama of Civil War.
Right.
People are super pissed off that it's like a more focused story now. Or it's
it's
toned
like
in.
instead
It's
of it
more
being about human rights, it kind of seems about Cap being like, my friend doesn't need justice.
right.
Like,
He's my best friend, so we're gonna fight.
Right.
yeah, exactly. Which it does kind of come off in the trailer, but I feel like there's also like threads of the trailer that indicate that there's a little bit more
Maybe
going
it's
off.
more elaborate, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
In a like 2-minute trailer, you're not going to get the full
And again,
story.
it just reinforces the belief I've had from the comic books that Iron Man is a real problem in the Marvel universe, and someone needs to sort his shit out.
Well,
because all 3 Iron Man movies, the villains were his fault.
pretty much, yeah. They stole his tech,
yeah,
and then abused it. And
and
like, don't make your tech so stealable. But
also,
then
not
also
just stole his tech, but like they all had a mad-on for Tony that was justifiable because he was a giant jerk to all of those people.
yeah, exactly.
All of them.
yeah.
And like furthermore, if you want to like
And
go
then
further
he
than that
made
in
a
the
killer
comics,
robot that killed everyone.
in the comics, he set up a situation that Harry Osborn could take over the Avengers by accident. And he's like, whoops.
He killed another superhero.
Huh?
No, he killed another superhero.
Yeah, he also
in the
resulted in the
comics.
death of Black Goliath because he was like, hey man, Thor's not around, but we have his hammer.
And his DNA.
And his DNA. I'm going to genetically engineer Thor so he can wield this hammer. Hammer don't know no difference. And it's like,
Hey, Thor, go take care of that guy. I will. Zap. Oh, he's
boom!
dead.
And he just like kills him dead. And he's like, whoops. It's just like,
And whoops. And that's it. Whoops is it. That's,
Yeah.
as far as
There's
Tony
no
has
consequences.
to pay.
we learned from our
Whoops.
mistakes. But like we were having this conversation with Andrew the other day. I was like,
Damn, it pisses me off.
Batman and Iron Man, I was like, are almost like unique in terms of heroes.
Okay.
Because they're guys who are like, I'm rich and the world needs me. Like, they just decided that.
Yeah.
Like, arbitrarily. It wasn't like the result of some experiment or some freak accident that gave them powers or like whatever else like that. They were just like, they looked at the newspapers and were like, I could fix this. And then they decided to. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Okay, but they're also like super geniuses, each in their own
Yeah,
little
I'm
way,
not saying
you know?
they don't have the ability, but like,
Right.
they, instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna like become the scientist that like outfits the heroes and helps them out, whatever.
I'm
You're
gonna
like,
give
okay,
police
you're like, I'm going to
superpowers.
insert myself right into the situation and fix it.
Hold on a
'cause-
second here, Keith. You kind of do the same thing. You're like, I'm Keith, and I just think people want to listen to me talk.
Yeah.
And then now we're at like 99 episodes of a fucking podcast, right?
Fair.
That's kind of what's happening here.
No, but on like a way
He's
bigger.
never fucking killed anyone.
True.
Has this podcast resulted in the death of any civilians?
God, if you know anyone who's died because of this podcast,
Let us
send
know.
Keith some
Yeah,
really
we'll stop.
guilty-
Well, you might. Stop.
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's actually going to...
But you
I
know-
will stop. Holy shit. Holy shit.
like as a direct result, what are the odds? Like, are we saying that what if they were just listening to it and they laughed so hard that they crashed their car?
that sounds
That's
like-
not. That's on them.
That's exactly something Tony would say.
Exactly. That's on them that our hilarious podcast made them unable to drive their car.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, it's
God damn
it's
it.
still a weird like, and they are in different ways like two of the craziest heroes that there are in their respective universe. Like if you think about them, they're like, oh no, they're fucking crazy. Like
Right.
they're really bad at making decisions in like rational
But
ways.
also
and stuff.
weirdly on the power scale up there with the best of them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
for
it's
sure.
like Batman and Superman go toe to toe. Superman, who is essentially Jesus,
yeah.
Yeah,
right? And,
Iron Man takes on the Hulk.
right, right.
Yeah, exactly. Iron Man has built like
Hulkbuster armor,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
goes toe to toe with the Hulk.
not just Hulkbuster, right? In the comics, he has like everybody Buster. He's like built contingency armors for like all of the Avengers, and you're just like
Batman, who
Yeah.
has contingency plans for literally every
yeah,
superhero.
exactly. But so he's like, why would you do this, Tony? Why do you have robots that designed specifically to like fight your friends? Oh man, just in case. Have you ever thought about like one for like stopping yourself? No. Why would I ever want to stop myself from doing whatever I
Well,
please?
hold on a second. I read the JLA where somebody hacks into Batman's computer.
Tower of Babel.
Right, and then it, like busts up all the superheroes using his plans. Is it possible that they're doing that on purpose, like making these two guys into like mirrors of each other?
Maybe. Like
Kinda
I think that Batman and Iron Man are very they're like
Similar. in
they're
their-
kind of like flip sides of very similar characters. Like
Yeah.
Batman is a little more obsessed with revenge, and Tony's a little bit more obsessed with the fact that he's like he thinks he's a good guy.
I was gonna say alcohol.
Yes.
That's like the
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But also Tony, like Batman is like revenge driven, and I find Iron Man is like
ego-driven.
ego driven because he's like, I'm actually a really great guy, and the world is better
I'm
for
the
having me in
best.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it's like,
True.
yeah, and like I did some bad things, and now I'm gonna make up for them. And you're just gonna keep doing
The world is better off if I'm not in jail paying for my crimes.
exactly.
The world is actually better off if I'm still out there doing good things.
making mistake after mistake.
It's the Tony Stark defense.
If I do 3 good things for every one horrible thing, I mean, it's a net positive.
I think it's okay. And like right now, if I'm not mistaken, he's completely immortal.
What?
Like,
in the comics.
Really?
Because he's like, his new suit is like, it's like stolen alien tech mixed with like Stark tech, and it's just his brain downloaded into a suit that exists on like the atom level and can self-replicate. So like, you could blow him to atoms and he'd be like, boo, and like slowly rebuild himself. With, like,
you know what's cool? Robert Downey Jr. You know what else is cool? Wolverine. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. Because he has like nanotech, right? Okay. Like self-replicating nanotechnology, and he's like in the program. So it's like he won't become Tony, and like it's like a whole issue because he has like memory gaps and shit now because of this. Like he's like
he gets blown up and comes back, but he loses some.
Well,
memories.
Exactly, because he downloaded himself, but then like he had
JPEG compression.
He had erased parts of his memory.
Well, they did that to try to make up for Civil War.
Yeah,
that was like a plot point saying, okay, so killed the guy, and then got Captain America arrested and killed as a prisoner.
Well, no, but
how do we redeem him? Let's give him a hard reboot.
But it's the best though is that it's because he did it not to just forget that stuff, but like in classic Tony Stark way, because he was like, oh shit, Harry Osborn is now like in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in charge of the Avengers with a bunch of bad guys as the Avengers because I fucked up real bad. I'm Tony Stark. But he's like, but the only people that know some of the Avengers like deepest secrets and some of their like hideout stuff and some of their cash stuff is me. So the only way to be sure that Harry doesn't get this information, or Norman doesn't get this information, is erasing my own memory. So he's like...
Nothing could go wrong.
Exactly. So also erases the time he killed his buddy. Like, he was like... He wasn't just like, I'd like to forget, like, killing my buddy. He was like, I need to forget this important Avengers information. Yeah, it's like a few weeks here or there. Whoop! And just like... And then he's like, I've never done anything wrong, ever. And I believe it.
And you can believe it, too.
Exactly.
Because it's actually been erased.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea of any of the wrongs I've done, Tony Stark, but he did it to himself.
The only thing that makes me really sad about that trailer is it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for my favorite scene in Civil War, which is the Punisher scene.
And Punisher's only coming out in Daredevil Season 2, so I doubt he's going to be in Civil War.
Exactly. So if you haven't read Civil War, at some point Captain America and his resistance fighters are hiding out in their secret base under the sewers of New York, and Punisher gets recruited. Like, he saves Spider-Man, and
that doesn't sound like it's going to work.
And he's like, I'm an anti-establishment kind of person.
Right.
I don't like this registration. I'm here to help. I've got certain skills, and they're like, great. This sounds like a good idea.
At this point, like intro, they've let some like low-level thunderbolts on, like, and stuff. Like some guys who used to be villains.
Even then, though, these are like 2 other bank robbers who've never been arrested. Are just like, hey, we're here too. If like you're letting the Punisher on, like we're ready to join up too. Like, we're not violent criminals. We like to rob banks, and like it is impossible to do anything that we like to do now in this climate. Like there's informants everywhere. There's S.H.I.E.L.D. spies everywhere.
How does
there's
Captain
robots
America
everywhere.
get on board with them?
Cap is like
doesn't make any sense.
Cap is like ready to do what it takes to like protect
one side of this argument has a gold helicarrier. The other has like sewer meetups. Right?
Okay.
Cap
Like
does
a
not
laptop.
have Stark resources. So like Cap is like, I'm kind of opposed to this, but like every little bit helps because I'm going up against Tony Stark resources.
Okay.
So these are like 2 guys who like maybe they can open a door that you need to get in, right? They're like, yeah, so is there anything that we can do? And Punisher turns around and shoots them in the face. Just murders them. And Cap is like, how did I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, he was just
and then jumps on Punisher and starts to beat the tar out of him for murder. And Punisher doesn't do anything. He just stands there and takes the beating. And this freaks Cap out even more. And he's just like, why won't you fight back? And he's like, because you're Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, because Captain America is basically everything Punisher would like to be if he wasn't a murdering psychopath. Right? Like, he's like,
I love the America that Captain America stands for.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm doing.
Small government, lots of guns.
If everyone was Captain America, I wouldn't have to be around.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and I, he's like, Frank, instead of being like a big war hero, just was like in the shit and hated his life, like in Vietnam, and then came home and his wife and kids got murdered brutally in front of him. Like, I think that like there's a version a Frank Castle that is like turns out like Captain America, and I think that he would want to be that, but he's just like he's too fucked up.
And he's also not. He's like, I'm not going to kill Captain America. That's the good guy.
Yeah,
Kill
exactly.
bad guys.
It's like everything the Punisher wants to be is Captain America, but like Punisher just is too fucked up to like. I think
it's such a good
it's a
scene
cool
of
scene.
comics.
So it sounds like that is not going to happen in the movie.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, and is that the forecast for this film that they're going to fuck it up?
I don't think they're gonna fuck it up.
Because
I think it'll just be different.
one of these
They're
days,
calling it Civil War, but it's not going to be Marvel Comics Civil War.
one of these days, they're going to have to put out like an MCU movie that's just going to fuck it up and be total shite. It's absolutely possible.
I feel that it's going to be the Infinity Saga.
Yeah?
They were like, how to make a disappointing movie. Have 15 full-length movies build up to it. You're just like, how can you possibly meet the expectations of a 15-film build-up?
These movies have made like $9 billion, and now it's time for it to pay off.
Exactly. Like, that's pretty much...
I'm a purple guy with a glove.
That's
Shit.
the level
It's
that they...
so bad.
I love the glove. But like that's the level that they built themselves up to with the Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
Is every movie has like in some way, small or big, been
Pointed towards it.
building to a thing, and you're like, how do you not make that disappointing? Like how, like it's not going to be better than any of the Avengers movies, but like it's built.
Sure, it could. Fucking the Ultron one was not that
Okay,
good.
I mean,
That was really
it's not going to be better than Avengers 1, let's say.
Okay,
Like, it's
sure.
going to be like, I think, to me, I'm like, that's a group superhero. There's going to be a gazillion
Avengers
fucking...
1, Guardians, Cap 2. Those are some good. Iron Man 1.
But
Those
there's
are
going to be
great movies.
so many heroes.
Yep.
Like, everybody's going to be around, so nobody's going to get enough screen time. It's going to be a lot of big
Oh, no,
set
the
pieces
first thing
fighting.
Thanos does is kill half the universe.
That's true. So
Sorry,
Ant-Man's
Scarlett
just
Johansson.
gone.
Yeah.
So sorry, Scarlett Johansson.
We really meant it when we said there was a Black Widow picture coming out.
But
eventually.
Thanos killed you.
But you're gonna die.
And that's why there's no toy.
The thing that I want to see.
Speaking of bad Marvel movies.
No, I was gonna say just the thing that I want to see in that movie is when Cap just punches Thanos. Like, pretty much, because
Yeah.
he's like everybody's dead, and he's like, "Well, this is taken care of. All the heroes are dead." And Captain America's like, "I'm still standing," and he's like, "And what are you gonna do?" And Cap's like, "Bang!" and just like right hooks him in the face. And Thanos is like, "What?" And then just disintegrates Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's great that Steve Rogers is like, "I gotta do something. Swing a punch."
Punching
But
is what I do best.
but if they kill him in Civil War, he's not going to be around for Infinity Gauntlet. They're reversing the order on those things, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good.
Nah, a Cap is a Cap.
I suppose.
Cap can die.
Someone's
Well,
got the shield. Bucky becomes Cap for a long
AKA
time.
Bucky. I was gonna be like AKA Bucky, and then eventually Falcon.
Right.
That's the other thing too. I was like thinking about that watching the like heroes and whatever thing Falcon, and I was like, Falcon really seems to just be right place, right time superhero. Just being like, oh, I'm hanging out and I'm kind of friends with Steve Rogers, and oh, cool, wings and a gun, woo, boo, 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 boo. I'm fucking Falcon, and I was like, you're just like a dude that ran with Steve Rogers. You're not like a superhero. You're just like happen to be around, and they're like, put on these wings, and he's like, okay, Steve.
Jog more.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of bad Marvel movies,
I was gonna say
Stan
that-
Lee was interviewed about the Fantastic Four movie that came out.
I was going to talk
And
about
they're like-
toys.
Like, what is your impression? Like, why did this movie fail?
Yeah.
He gave two reasons.
Okay.
They're both so amazingly Stan Lee. The first reason, which is ridiculous, is I am not in it. There is no Stan Lee cameo in this movie, so obviously.
Right.
And the second one, which is ridiculous, but in a way makes you wonder about the other Marvel movies. He's like, they didn't ask me for any input. And he's not an executive producer for this. Now, if you see any of the other Marvel movies,
Yeah.
He's an executive?
he's an executive producer.
Wow.
Now, what that mostly means is he's the guy who created them, and they buy him lunch every now and then. Right? Like, he's in his 90s. He's not sitting there hammering out the fucking budget deals.
Right.
He just screams Excelsior every now and then at craft
Like,
services.
great job. Really excited about this guy. He's like super. But,
He's in his 90s?
yeah.
He's pretty fucking with it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
90-year-old?
He's
Yeah.
sharp.
Yeah.
But I can also see the meeting
Note
where,
to
like,
self. Research what Stan Lee did.
Yeah.
Avi Arad or Kevin Feige are like sitting there talking like, so, you know, Loki and then the aliens and then Hulk smashes them and like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh, but actually I think this might happen. And just like a little kind of like lunch, super casual conversation where he gets a couple of points in. Keep things, you know.
You think? I
Focus.
could see that.
Like,
I could
Lotus,
definitely see that.
I wrote Captain America for 15 years. Like, maybe he would do this.
They might
That's a
take
good
it, they
point.
might not. But I could totally see like a script pitch to Stanley Lunch happening.
I don't even remember if I saw that Fantastic Four movie, but I do remember seeing reviews and like reading about it, and it sounded like it was a fucking hot mess through and through, not like tiny little mistakes.
The lead actor and director both criticized it before it came out.
Right,
like,
it was like a colossal front to back fuck up. Like, didn't they CG in one of the actresses and they changed her hair, and it's like bad CG the whole way through, and fucking anyway, it's supposedly it's a complete nightmare. I feel like it.
I'm waiting for a day to be sad to watch it.
Yeah.
I've got it. I'm waiting. Just like
you have it.
Yeah.
Call me up, dude. I'll come.
I'll come.
We
for
can
you.
cry together.
I mean, I watched the first two, and if it's
they were supposed to be fucking horrible. Also, I don't know.
Like the Return of the Silver Surfer. Like, that's a bad movie.
Yeah.
And even the first Doctor Doom with his weird electric powered.
They're gonna relinquish Fantastic Four. They're gonna do it.
They did. It was part of the
Spider-Man thing. Oh no, it's Fox. Fox has Fantastic Four. Sony has Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, they traded Fantastic Four back for the TV rights to the X-Men characters.
And
so
I guess
a
weird
deal. So they can make like a
X-Men TV show,
rogue TV show, or like the whole universe of those characters. So like they can make a New Mutants TV show.
Right.
And they traded the Fantastic Four cinematic rights back for that. They're
keeping
Fox, because they already have the X-Men.
Fox has, and they're never going to let that go ever, because those movies make
lots of money.
Yeah,
and Gambit's coming out soon. And, Deadpool is coming out.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah. It's going to create the MCU that just the X-Men are not a part of, don't exist, will never be a part of, ever.
Correct.
Yeah.
Except for Quicksilver, and he's dead.
Right.
Did you know that apparently he wasn't originally slated to die? Like, and
did we talk
yeah,
about
exactly,
this?
and that they were just like the X-Men just did it better, and they were like, like whatever, fuck it.
Shit, people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. God damn it! They're like, we could have dueling rights, but people will just be like, yours is cooler, and the end. I was gonna say about toys. You heard about the Disney pulling the plug on Slave Leia merchandise. There won't be Slave Leia action figures anymore.
Why not?
Won't be, because they were like, she's a slave, and it's like exploitative and whatever. Carrie Fisher has the best quote about it, where she's like, because someone was like, how do I explain this character to my parents and like, or to my child, my daughter, and why is she dressed like that and all that stuff? And she can be like, well, you can tell your daughter that a big giant slut put me in that outfit, and then I choked him to death, and then I got on my normal clothes. And that's the story of that outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I got captured, put in the outfit, killed my captor, returned to normal clothes. That is the story of the Slave Leia outfit.
Like, I just rewatched these movies. In terms of, like, role model females in films, like, you're going to be hard-pressed to come up with a better than Leia. Like,
now, as a counterpoint to that, I just watched a YouTube video that was every line of woman's dialogue in the first 3 movies that's not Princess Leia. And it's 63 seconds long.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. All 3 movies. Wow. 63 seconds long. It's the Rebel Admiral at the meeting. It's one console Werper and Hoth and a lot of Emperor going, just let him go. He's not going to be here forever. The shields are up. We need to get out now. Many Bothans died for this. And then that's it. The clip is over. You're like, man, that's not even one of those annoying 7 minutes.
But to be at the same time, you could be like, look at how many like lines of dialogue are there if you like remove Luke.
I feel like
there's going to be a lot more movies.
But like Luke and aliens.
I feel like
right, because you're thinking that all the aliens are gender binary. We don't know that. Admiral Akbar might be fucking a chick. Or they could be like a single.
They produce asexually.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like human females get less dialogue time than Ewoks.
True.
We also, to be also really clear, we're very unclear on all of the Ewok genders. We're assuming they're all dudes. Who the fuck knows?
Whoa. Who the hell is assuming that?
I'm just saying. Were like included in the clip? Then no.
Human females.
Did it say human females or did it just say females? Huh? What did the clip say?
You're so fucking Tony Stark. You're starking the shit out of this.
Anyway, fucking Leia is a great character.
Leia's a great character.
She's a strong female in the fucking 70s, and like.
You know how she was so strong?
Well, that was later. That's not.
That wasn't later.
No, that was not later.
That was in between movie 1 and movie 2.
Right.
And then throughout movie 2 and movie 3. Yeah.
God, yeah, no, I mean, it's not like I'd be wishing for more Amidala.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. None of the shit. None of the writing. None of the anything from those movies. Fucking.
Yep. Just got to move back, and then eventually, I think after these 3, it'll be long enough where we can be like,